When is a story done? You ask this simple question to your team, and I guarantee you that you will get different answers. You are in trouble if you get different answers from your team members. Stick around and I will show you how to get everyone on the same page. So here is the simple formula. BNT plus AC, the acceptance criteria, plus POT plus DOD. That means story is done. We have a saying that a story is done only when it is done. So this formula is in fact referring to that done. It's a simple formula that you need to discuss with your team. And today I'm going to help you understand it so that you can go and explain it in a much better way to your team and be more effective. So let's dive into this formula. Let me explain each component and the reasoning for it. So first one is the BNT, which is referring to build and test. Of course, the team members need to build the functionality. The developers doing the coding and hoping that it will work is a wrong approach. Once the developers have built it, they also need to test it. At a minimum, run the unit test to ensure that it is doing what it's supposed to do. The second step is the acceptance criteria. Now, the PO, the product owner, should be providing this as part of the user story. The team can help the product owner in ironing them out while in the backlog refinement. They should tell the team when the product owner will accept the story as done. What will make the product owner accept this functionality? What feature functionality it needs to deliver before the product owner will accept it? So team needs to be absolutely clear about this and must use the backlog refinement to get this clarification. Now, assuming that the team has the clarity about the acceptance criteria and my developer has done the BNT, the next step I want them to do is run that functionality against this acceptance criteria. Does this functionality meet all the acceptance criteria that are laid out in the user story? Now, the third step is the POT, Product Owner Acceptance Test. Again, let's assume that the team has built the functionality and done the BNT. They have run it against the acceptance criteria and it meets all the acceptance criteria. Now, can the team just mark it as done? I would say no. Here, as a step 3, they should be going to the product owner and asking her to look at the functionality. Asking her to look at the functionality so that she can provide the acceptance. Now, to showcase this functionality to your product owner, you don't have to wait till the end of the sprint for the sprint review. In fact, if you do that, that's a wrong approach. The sprint review should not be the first time that the product owner is seeing this functionality. So as soon as the developers, as soon as the team has done the BNT and the cross-check against the acceptance criteria, they should be reaching out to the product owner, requesting some time so that they can showcase that functionality. And if the product owner does not accept it at that time, then the team must go back to the drawing board and adjust the functionality so that it meets the acceptance criteria and also gets the POT, also gets the product owner to accept it when we showcase, when we demo that functionality to her. So BNT, acceptance criteria, and the third step is the part. Product owner has looked at it and provided the acceptance. If for some reason the team and product owner does not come to that common ground, the product owner is not able to give the acceptance, then I would say that there is a bigger problem. The team and product owner does not have common understanding of the ask of the functionality. Maybe they did not do a good job of ironing out those details at the backlog refinement. So there is disconnect. In this case, I would say they will have to go back to the drawing board and get some additional details from the product owner. Make sure that the product owner and the team is on the same page. Alright, so let's assume that the team has done the B&T, it meets the acceptance criteria, and now we showed it to the product owner and we got the acceptance. Is that enough for the story to be marked as done? I would say no. There is one more step that needs to be taken care of, and that is the fourth step, and that being the definition of done. The last step before we can close a story, before we can mark a story as done, should be to cross-check against the definition of done. The definition of done should have been created as part of the initial kickoff as we were standing up this team. So the team needs to take care of these additional tasks that the team has put on themselves through this definition of done. Right? So now what we have done for a specific functionality, we have done B&T, build and test. We are expecting that the team, the dev team, would be doing that. They have checked against the acceptance criteria. Here we are expecting that the product owner has provided the acceptance criteria initially, and the team is cross-checking against those acceptance criteria to ensure that the functionality meets all those criteria. Then we did the POAT, product owner acceptance test. We showed it to the product owner and product owner accepted it. And last piece is we cross-checked against the definition of done. That is, my friend, when we mark the story as done, as we say, done, done, done. Essentially, this doneness ensures that the user story is done from various angles. It is done from the development team's point of view, as in B&T, build and test. It is done from the product owner's point of view, from the business's point of view, as in it meets the acceptance criteria, and we also have the product owner acceptance test done. And last but not the least, it is done from the organizational point of view, as it meets the definition of done criteria. For example, if I have some compliance related items, the team may decide to put these compliance related tasks in definition of done to ensure that every time we mark a story done, we are ensuring that it meets the compliance requirements. Now you may say, hey, I'm going to cover all these aspects through my definition of done. My definition of done includes all these aspects. That's great. Bottom line is that you need to cover all these bases before you can score a home run. Before you can mark a story as done, you need to take care of all these aspects. I will throw in a caution here. If you put all these things in definition of done, your definition of done may be overloaded. You don't want to overburden your team by putting 20, 30 different criteria in your definition of done. So remember, you want to keep the definition of done light enough so that it covers enough of those additional aspects that you have to take care of while still allowing the team to close the story. So, simple formula, but very, very effective in bringing everyone on the same page. Being clear about the doneness will help your team in a long way. It will help the team get more clarity. It will help the team in estimation as they do the backlog refinement. In fact, I did a series of videos to help you all out on the backlog refinement. I will put the cards up above here as well as include the link in the description below. I would I highly recommend that you look at that series on backlog refinement. That will help you tremendously. So remember, you are done only when you are done. You are done only when you are satisfying this formula. The story is done when it meets this formula. Now go and talk to your team. Ask them what is done. And then talk about this formula. Bring all of them to the same page. And when I say all of them, I am including the product owner as well as the dev team. Everyone has to be on the same page as to what is done for them. So go talk to your team.